Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and today at this time, as we've been doing the last couple weeks, we will once again look at IELTs. That's right. We are going to look at IELTs again, but this week we're going to talk about the reading section of the test. Arguably one of the more difficult sections, because in the reading section we have to deal with, well, first of all, we have to deal with the time factor, which even for myself, as I've taken the test, in the reading section, time is, you really have to measure your time carefully and use your time carefully and be aware of your time. As well, the difficulty, or shall I say challenge, of the IELTS reading section is that there are about a dozen different types of questions which you're going to have to encounter. So it's not just a simple multiple choice or fill in the blank. There's a lot of different kinds of questions. And some of them are multiple answer questions. Also, we've got that bugaboo of the inference question. What does the reading infer? In other words, your answer may not be actually on the written page. It may be something that you can deduce or logically figure out from the written page. So there's a lot of challenges, a lot of things to talk about. And we're going to be looking at all that and a lot more over the course of the next week at this time. So please join me if you have any interest whatsoever in taking an IELTS test, or frankly a lot of the same kinds of skills you will need in a TOEFL, a TOEIC, a CAE. Any of these kinds of tests involve a lot of the same kinds of skills we'll be working on this week. Alright, we got some students joining the class now. Crunchy, crunchy, crunch. Hi, Mentor. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Good. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you. Good to have you. Alright, I'm going to say hello to a few other folks. Hello, Nathan?
Yeah.
Hi, is that correct? Nathan?
Yeah, Nitin. It's actually Nitin.
Okay. Hi, Nathan. How are you today?
Fine, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing okay, thanks. Nathan, do you have plans to take an IELTS exam?
Yeah, actually, I already took the exam, but I have a visa interview in a couple of days, so I have to practice reading, so that it will help me.
Okay. All right. So you have a reading exam coming up. All right. Well, hopefully I can help you.
Thank you.
Hello, Amir. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm good. Thanks. Nice to have you in the class today.
Thank you.
All right. Batayar?
Yes, I am.
Hello. Hi. Batayar, where are you from?
I am from Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan. Okay.
Yes, it's Asia.
Yes, I am. I'm a teacher. I know where it is. Just kidding. No, actually, I love maps, so it's not really because I'm a teacher. It's just because I'm a big fan of geography and maps, really. But happy to have you with us. Do you plan to take an IELTS test, or are you taking a similar test? Batayar?
Yes, teacher.
Are you planning on taking an IELTS or similar test in the future?
Yeah.
You are? Okay. All right. Well, then you're in the right place. Hi, Mon. How are you? Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good too.
Good. Okay. Hello. Hi, Murat.
Hi.
Murat. Hello.
Yes.
Hi. How are you?
I can. Fine. And you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Murat, where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
From Turkey. Okay. Welcome to the class.
Thank
Nice
you.
to have you with us. Last but hardly least, not at all. Hello, Anastasia.
Hello. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Your microphone is a little lower than normal today, Anastasia.
Is it better right now?
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Because yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Super. Okay, you guys. Now today is an overview of the reading. Tomorrow, we'll very carefully analyze some questions and talk about strategies of answering questions. Unfortunately, Wednesday I could not book a class. We will continue on Thursday and Friday at this time. Thursday and Friday we'll be doing a lot more actual practice, which will be good. You really need to practice IELTS reading questions because they can be tricky. Today's more of an overview, so I'm going to talk quite a lot today, but please don't be shy. You guys have a question, any questions, IELTS in general, or IELTS reading specifically, or any questions about the material that I'm presenting, don't be shy, okay? Just ask, and I will be happy to answer any questions. Any general questions before I begin? Anybody? Don't be shy. Okay. All right. Nathan?
So, yeah. What is the class you are going to teach now? It's an overview of IELTS exam.
Well, I'm going to be talking specifically about IELTS reading exam and the particulars of the exam, how it's formatted and so forth. And yes, but hopefully we'll be able to get, and we're going to do types of questions today, and maybe a little bit talking about how to answer them. Okay, so all right, let me begin. What is the IELTS reading module all about? Okay, the IELTS examination is composed of 4 parts, of course: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You will have to accomplish all 4 of those to get your final IELTS score. Today we're looking specifically at reading. Normally the IELTS examination will go in a certain order, usually listening, reading, writing, then speaking. I've heard recently from some IELTS students that they're going to take the speaking first, but then the next 3 are in the same order: listening, reading, writing. So reading is right in the middle, when your brain is all fried, good and fried from the listening exercise, and you're very fatigued because listening takes a lot of concentration and mental energy. Really, it does. All right, the reading module. First of all, there's a slight difference. IELTS presents 2 types of tests: academic and general training. I'll talk about the differences more in a second. First, let me talk about the similarities. There's always 40 questions. You always have 60 minutes. You may divide your time up however you see fit. However, be aware, in the IELTS reading examination, the reading passages and questions increase in difficulty as the test progresses. So usually academic will be 3 reading passages, and GT, general training, I will normally say GT. GT might be 4 passages. 3 or 4 passages either way. And again, they will become more difficult as you continue. So, if you're thinking, for example, academic, reading test, 3 passages, 20 minutes each. You might want to keep in mind, if you can do the first one in 12 or 15 minutes, that's probably better, because the last 20-minute section is going to be more difficult. It gets harder as the test proceeds. Okay, you're not given any extra time. Here's what happens. You go in, you sit down at your desk. You have a pencil. They are going to give you a booklet with the reading passages. You can do whatever you want with that booklet. All right? You're given a separate answer sheet with the little ovals. I'm sure you've all dealt with this before, where you have to fill in the little ovals, A, B, C, or D. Or it may have fill in the blank, where you'll have to write something on a blank. Actually, no. What am I talking about? You don't fill in ovals. You're going to just write the letter. I'm sorry. Whoop. Sorry, mistake there. You're going to have an answer sheet. But anyway, the answer sheet must contain nothing but your answers. The reading, however, you can do anything you want to. So, for example, if you want to circle what you feel are keywords, important words in the reading as you scan down through, you can do that. If you want to figure something out, write notes, draw pictures of flowers, whatever you want to do, that document actually gets shredded after the test. So no one sees it. It is no part of the scoring. Only your scoring sheet makes any difference to your score. When the 60 minutes is up, hopefully your scoring sheet is full. Okay? Because you're not given any extra time. Unlike, it's a little confusing because in IELTS listening test, they do the entire test, then you're given an additional 10 minutes to fill in the answer sheet. No additional time in reading. So please don't be confused by that. Okay, academic and general training are different, but only slightly, really. Really, they're not much different at all, honestly. Academic will contain maybe one more very organized, logical argument trying to prove a point. General training are usually just describing something, possibly instructive. But anyway, academic, okay, it can contain, it looks just like a magazine article. All right, if you've ever read Nova, Omni, Science Journal, any sort of academic magazine of any type, then this is exactly the kind of passage or article you're going to read. It's very, very similar to something like that. Okay. The articles are something that you may read in college, for example, but they're not discipline specific, meaning you don't have to have, if you have an article about geology, it's going to be written such that a layman, somebody with no prior experience or schooling in geology, can figure out the answers. All right, it's not going to be, you don't have to know specialized vocabulary, or you don't have to know formulas or anything of that nature. Not at all. So there's not going to be any really not topic, but discipline-specific vocabulary that you need to know. It's gonna use general words. Okay, GT. Very similar, actually. Although one part may have passages about like public information, health, maybe public health announcement, like why you shouldn't smoke cigarettes or something, as opposed to a more organized magazine article type thing. Slightly different, but not that much, and basically the question types are the same anyway. There may be Yeah, well, okay, public announcement or informational thing. Maybe something like an introduction to a university, what courses are available, some of the maybe facilities at the university, something like that. So something more informational. Okay. Each section, okay, what happens is you do the reading, and then the questions are going to be in the booklet. So if this is my booklet here, you're going to do a lot. It's a lot bigger. It's normal, whatever it is, 8.5 by 11 size paper, and you do the reading, and so the reading's going to be on page. You're going to be doing a lot of this, flipping back and forth. Look at a question, look at the reading, look at the question, look at the reading. Now, anybody taking a reading test, okay, there's different basic strategies. And freaking ask history, geology, economy. Yes, yes, yes. They have a lot of they're also going to have a lot of natural things like information about things like nature, like maybe an article about bats, or an article about geology and people that eat clay, for example. I don't know. Academic, but sometimes strange. They're actually often, if you weren't taking an IELTs test, you might find them interesting. But of course, you're panicking, and you don't really care how interesting the articles are. But there's, as I said, similar to magazine articles, for a layman to read. Maybe something interesting you didn't know about volcanoes, or bats, or dinosaurs as social animals. Something like that. Okay, so don't worry that you have to really know that stuff all that well. You know, TOEFL, TOEFL is a similar test. TOEFL is more really academic style reading. This is more like for really the general public. If you read science magazines, this is you would be used to this. Pardon me. Now, okay, there's some different tactics you can take, and it depends on your own comfort level and your English skill. All right, the three tactics I will talk to you about. One tactic I use, but I read a lot, and I'm a very fast reader. So my choice is to quickly read the entire passage, then go to the questions and refer back. Okay, that gives me an idea of the overall layout, and when I look at a question, I'll know where to find the question. However, again, I'm a native speaker. Not only am I a native speaker, I'm a hardcore, very avid reader. I read 3 or 4 books every week. I have since I was 5 years old. Okay, so I have a lot of practice. I don't usually recommend this for second language speakers. All right? Strategy number 2. Scan the passage, and there's different ways to do that. Scanning and skimming. In other words, maybe looking at the first sentence in a passage, because paragraphs, okay, usually, not always, but usually begin with some kind of topic sentence or introductory sentence. Maybe look at that one a little closer, then skim down very quickly for bigger words that might, for repeated words. If I notice there's a word repeated 3 times in a paragraph as I'm scanning, I'm not actually looking for meaning. I'm looking for keywords. Dinosaurs, paleontologists, eggs. Oh, eggs again. Oh, eggs again. All right, this second paragraph is about dinosaur eggs. That's all I need to know. When I'm scanning, I might want to also look at numbers or anything capitalized. Capital letters, they're introducing the UN. Okay, they're talking about a UN-funded project. I notice UN. Okay, third paragraph, UN and how they're funding a project to search for dinosaur eggs. For example, capital letters, numbers, big words. Okay, scanning very fast, not reading detail, not even understanding maybe exactly what the article is about, getting the basic idea. Dinosaur, eggs, they're young. Okay, social elements. All right, I know that the article's about dinosaurs and how they raise their young. Then I go to the questions and I use the keywords, or I remember where the keywords and phrases are. Then I can find the information. What you will find is on the reading test, there may be 2 paragraphs that are not even in the questions, that are completely irrelevant. Maybe not. Maybe they will have questions about every paragraph. You never know. That's a quick way to do it so you can get to the questions. In my mind, okay, in general, if you have no clue where to start, if you're somewhere around intermediate level, this would be the strategy I recommend. If you are a slightly lower level, lower intermediate, of course, if you're just a beginner in English, you shouldn't be taking an IELTS reading test anyway. If maybe your level, you think you're a little bit lower, you're not as confident, don't even look at the reading. Boop, turn the page, go right to the questions. Just look at the questions, and then look at the keyword in the question, dinosaur eggs. Then go back to the reading and scan for dinosaur eggs. Read the information just ahead of it and just behind it. And hopefully that will help you answer the question. Okay? This is to save you time. If you're trying to read the whole thing and understand it, and it takes you 10 minutes to read the entire passage, then you only have 10 minutes left. You know, if you're basing it on 20, 20, 20, 3 passages, again, this is the academic model, 3 passages, 20 minutes. If you spend 10 minutes, 12 minutes reading, then you have 8 to 10 minutes to answer about a dozen questions. 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever. It varies. That's going to be hard, because then you still are going to have to refer back. Regardless of what you do, if you read the entire passage, you're going to have to refer back to check and make sure. It's very seldom you're going to be able to just go, I know the answer. Even with my style, reading the entire passage first, there's only going to be 2 out of those 12 questions I can just say, I know the answer. You're going to have to refer back anyway. Okay? So it depends a lot on your your reading speed. Yes, you can try reading the questions and then try scanning. I don't really recommend it. You'll just end up getting confused. It's a lot easier. The reason you might scan first is so after you read the question, you have a good idea where to look. That's somewhere in the middle. That's somewhere at the end. It helps if you don't have to scan the whole thing to find information. Are the questions, do they match the flow of the passage? Not always. Usually, but not always. Not completely. All right. Let's look at some question types here. There's a lot of different. This is another difficult part about IELTS. Before I continue the next section, any questions about what I've said so far? Anybody? And I just want to say hi to Raphael. Hi, Raphael. Hi, Hadir.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. Hello, Xingyu. Hi. Okay, anyway. All right, let me
Hello,
go.
teacher.
There he is. Hello. All right, a few of these, I'm gonna, well, I'll try screen.
I have a question for you.
You do?
I have a question for you.
Sure. What do you got? What's your question?
When I read this article, we often meet some new words. How can I do this?
I'm not sure I understand the question. When you read an article, you often find new words. Ah, okay. Oh, and you don't know the words. Okay, well, for example, if you're in the IELTs exam, or you're taking any reading test, actually, you are not allowed to bring in your dictionary, or your electronic dictionary, or your phone, or anything like that. You will not have an electronic device. It's just you, your trusty pencil, your booklet, and your answer sheet, and that's all you're going to have. So if you don't know vocabulary words in the reading, you have no choice but to try to figure them out in context. So all I can suggest, Xingyu, is you read the sentence before and after and try to figure out how that word fits in, what it might mean. Now, how do you do that? Okay, actually, that's a very good question, Xingyu. First thing I would recommend is try to figure out in the sentence structure what kind of word is it. Is it a noun, a verb? Is it an adjective describing another noun, in which case it's probably not that important? Is it an adverb describing a verb or modifying an adjective? If it is, like it has ly and you don't know the word, you probably don't have to care, because it's not probably integral to the meaning of what you're reading. As a matter of fact, as I was discussing skimming and scamming with you guys, when in listening exercise or in reading, listen for verbs, all right? Action words usually really clue you in on what's going on, all right? If you can concentrate on verbs and, of course, some of the nouns, helps if you know the subject and object of the verb, of course. Those are going to be important to the overall meaning. There are specific questions for specific vocabulary on the test, but usually, actually, those are the kind of the easiest kinds of questions, because it's usually quite easy to figure out. Okay, so figure out what is the word form, and then try to figure out another word you might substitute. All right, and usually that's close enough. You'll be able to get the overall meaning. All right, let's look at some question types, because there's many in IELTS, and we need to talk about it. And I think we should get it out of the way. All right. First kind is the kind that I'm sure you're all familiar with from your school days. Multiple choice, or as I like to call them, multiple guess. Okay? You have A, B, C, D, and you need to pick one. I will give you a clue here. Any tests, actually, I learned this in university in psychology courses. If first of all, you're going to use POE, process of elimination. A, B, C, D, figure out what doesn't work. D is a stupid answer. So great, you just increased your chances from 25% to 33%. All right? If you can eliminate 2, great. Now you have a 50-50 chance of being right. Do not leave the answer blank. If you think it's got to be either B or C, please choose B or C. Don't just say, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't care. Flip a coin. Do rocks, paper, scissors with yourself. Whatever. But write something in the blank, because now you have a 50% chance of being right. Also, when in doubt, if B or C is an answer, if it's CD, always pick C. If it's BD, always pick B. B and C are more likely to be the correct answer. Test psychology thing. They try to hide the answer.
If B and D, just choose D, right?
Just choose B. They often try to hide answers in a test B and C. It's supposed to be random.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
It's supposed to be random, but if you even slightly think the answer is D more than C, pick D. Whatever, if your gut instinct is telling you it's D, go with D. Usually, you may not be able to psychologically figure out why you think it's D, but somewhere in the back of your head, somewhere when you were half asleep on your couch, you were watching the Discovery Channel, and they mentioned the thing that you're trying to remember.
So, you say, teacher, that when the questions are 50-50 between B and D, we must choose B, right?
Well, it's an old psychology trick, yeah, actually.
What about A and B? Just choose A?
Well, I would pick B. Well, see, what I'm referring to, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Yeah. You're dealing with probability. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what? Disregard that I said it. Just this has to do with psychology, is that they will try to hide answers by putting them in the middle, B or C.
Okay.
Okay, but just
you need to learn, Anastasia.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Hopefully, you'll know the right answer.
But sometimes there is like a case when you think like two answers are right, and you just doubt about and you don't know what to choose.
But in either case, you're definitely going to use POE as a strategy, no doubt. I don't even recommend it. I demand it. You have to do this if you want to do well.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You also may get multiple guess questions where, according to the passage, for example here, which two of the following are typical of a cat's hunting behavior? In other words, you need to pick two answers. Always make sure you're reading your questions very carefully so that you do not just write B on your answer sheet, because if you just write B, you won't be half right, you'll be all wrong. Okay? You must write B and C, or whatever the actual answer is. Alright? So be careful, IELTS test takers, always read the instructions. Instructions are insanely important on this test.
There is a possibility sometimes to cycle two questions.
One more time, sorry?
Is there a possibility to circle two questions or just one? Is there any rule?
Circle?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be fill in the blank. You're going to have an answer sheet, so you're going to have to actually write down like this. Like if you look in the Verbling chat box, whatever your answer is, if it's pick two answers, I will write it down like this: B, D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If I just write one, if it says choose two and I only write one, it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's not half right. They don't do that. Unfortunately, they don't do that. Okay, another famous kind of question that you will get is short answer. This can ask for very specific information. Now, again, I can't reiterate this enough. Look here, if you guys can read this. Write no more than 3 words and or a number. Write no more than 3 words and or a number.
Does article count?
Yes. An article is a word. Good question.
Yeah.
All right. You can write 1 word or 2 words. That's no more. You can write 3 words, but that's okay. I can write 3 words and a number. That's okay.
It's okay.
And or. Yeah, no more than 3 words and a number.
Uh-huh. So, okay. So
Okay.
3 words, we can write plus 1 number, right?
That's right.
Oh.
Now, you will see others where this and is eliminated. It says no more than 3 words or a number. All right. This is in reading and listening. The same thing. They do the same things with questions. You got to be very careful about these. Now, the good thing is you will notice that this is all uppercase, capital letters with these weird instructions. They do that on the actual test too. So don't ignore that. Ignore these instructions at your own peril. Definitely. So you may have and, you may have or, you may have and or. It may say 3 words, it may say 2 words, it may say 1 word. Be very, very careful that you understand that. So of course, you write your answer in the blank here. Normally, in the listening test, again, you're going to have extra time. In the listening test in IELTS, it's very similar. The worksheet looks very similar. In the listening test, I would just be writing all my answers into the booklet. In the reading test, because I do not want to get lost, and because the reading test, unlike the listening test, you can't go back. The reading test, you can go back. You can skip answering a question. But if you skip answering a question, I would highly recommend that you fill in the answer on your answer sheet. Okay, you skip number 8. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to have to come back to number 8. You know, I would highly recommend that you fill in your answer sheet to 7 and leave 8 blank, and then fill in 9 so you know that you have to go back to 8. Because if you have 8 or 10 different answers that you want to return to, you're never going to remember. You're going to get so confused. So stay organized, because you don't have time to fool around trying to figure out what you were doing. You just don't have time for that. Now, fill in the blanks could be answer the question, or you might have to complete a sentence. All right? In general, complete a sentence are actually quite easy. You just have to find the sentence in the reading passage and then write the words. You can just copy the words right from the reading passage. However, whatever you do, make sure that it's grammatically correct. If you're doing a fill-in-the-blank exercise and you use the wrong verb tense, your answer is wrong. Again, same thing in listening and reading. Of course, that's much more of a factor when it comes to listening, because you've got to listen for verb tense. A good thing, I guess, is a lot of the question types are the same in listening and reading, and your answer sheet looks pretty much identical. Okay. Another type of question is called note completion. You're much more likely going to see this in GT, by the way. Okay, so you're going to do a fill-in-the-blank on a list. All right, here, I'll share with you. I got a list of things, and here, number 35 in a blank, number 36 in a blank. This refers to, of course, number 35 and number 36 on your answer sheet. So you have a list of dates here, and then what happened on the date. And you're going to fill in the blanks for whatever happened on that date. So obviously, if I'm scanning, it's much easier to scan for numbers. All right, so this kind of a question, and I have a question here, I'm going to scan for this number. Definitely, 1836. Much easier to find numbers in a reading passage than other things. Or scan for capital letters. They're just really a lot easier to find than just words, words, words. Much easier. Okay. The next type of question, ooh golly golly, Table completion. All right, it's very similar to what we just looked at. You're gonna have a table. Now this type would be much more common on a GT. Hang on, I'll share an example. You have a table, and okay, in this table, position, meaning the job, the salary, how much per month, experience necessary. So okay, teacher, $1,500 a month, experience necessary. You have, okay, obviously the other answers are yes, yes, no. So we already know, I know that answer 12 here is going to be either simply the word yes or no. All right. Table, they show you how to format your answer, okay? So the middle row here is all salary, all right? $500 per month, $1,500 per month, $2,000 per month. So I know how to form it. I see my instructions up here, not more than 3 words or a number. Well, I can use the $sign and a number. That counts as a number, by the way. So there's my number, per and month, 2 words, no problem. So obviously I'm just going to write my answer here, whatever, 2,500, 3,000 per month, whatever it might be. Sometimes, yes?
Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The sign of dollar, it is a number? Or,
no.
Or letter?
No, technically it is not. Well, but, very good question, thank you. If you write, all right, if your answer is 50%, and this is all through the IELTS test, all right, and writing, if you're writing, and you write 50%, because they count how many words you write in the IELTS writing, that would be 1 word, okay? But, okay, in writing part of the exam, that would also be 1 word, writing percent. However, in listening or reading, this would be 1 number, 1 word. I know, that's crazy.
Can you repeat again, please?
All right. Okay, in the writing IELTS examination, writing 50 and the percent symbol is considered 1 word because you have to write 150 words or 250 words.
Yes.
All right, but writing the numerical 50 and the word percent is actually only 1 word in the writing. So it doesn't matter how you do it in writing. Okay? So if I write $2,000 and I actually write it all out, that's just 1 word in writing.
Yes.
Or if I write the dollar symbol in 2000, it's the same in writing. However, in reading and listening, okay, in reading and listening, this, okay, 50%, 50 and the percent sign is considered 1 number, no words.
Oh.
Okay? And
no words, just 1 number.
That's right, or $50, like you were just asking me.
Yeah.
That's just 1 number.
Well, just, okay. In reading and listening, right?
Right. So it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Good question. Very good question. All right. Okay, what's my next type of question? Boy. I don't remember actually seeing this when I took the test. I don't remember seeing this type of question, but I suppose it exists. Complete the flowchart. This is really just another type of fill-in-the-blank question. Actually, a flowchart just shows process, so you'd just be filling in the blanks with whatever comes next in the process. So by knowing it's a flowchart with these little arrows, that you'd know after you find 9 in the reading, then obviously 10 would have to follow that, and you know which order it goes in. So I guess that's basically just another type of fill in the blank, which actually may be helpful because you'll be able to fill out the information. Okay, another kind of weird. Another kind of weird, and this would be much more likely to be in the GT. Another type of question in the GT is, here, you have a diagram. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? It's a mouse. So you have to fill in what you read would talk about a mouse and describe a mouse. So then you'd have to fill in the diagram. Okay, this is 23 is a button. Okay, 24 is a, what is this? A four-way, huh? Four-way ball, I guess. Okay. And hopefully, USB port, whatever it is, hopefully, not hopefully, the reading would obviously describe the different things. Okay? It's actually sort of backwards in writing. What you're going to do is you're going to see a diagram, then you're going to do the writing about the diagram in academic model. So this is sort of backwards, the other way around. You read about it, and then you fill in the diagram. Actually, it's exactly the same thing, except opposite direction. Okay, now we get into tricky things. Let's see here. Hang on. All right. Multiple questions. All right, now this is where it gets a little tricky. All right, matching. You're going to do matching. Okay, let's see here. So there's a lot of information you may use. Okay, let's read the instructions. Look at statements 5 to 10 and the advertisements A to C. So here are the statements, and below that, okay, there's different advertisements. All right, which ones fit which? This is definitely GT. Okay, this is totally a GT exercise. So they're going to refer back to, if you remember in the beginning of the class, I said sometimes the GT will have, for example, it will describe a college and college courses. All right, in this example, they're describing available jobs. So the reading, you'd be looking at some kind of job announcement piece. And then you'd be mixing and matching which letters go where. Statements 5 to 10, advertisements A to C. Match each statement with the advertisement it applies to. Write the correct letter A to C. You may use any letter more than once. So there may be a question, there may be 2 A's and 1 B and 2 C's or whatever. Well, actually, there's 6 questions. Maybe there's 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's. So be aware that sometimes they do that. The answers may be multiple. Okay, so a B may fit in 2 different places or more. Multiple questions. All right. Da 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 da. Okay, they have different types of matching with an academic. They also match. You may be matching headings. These are actually quite difficult. They may have you match, for example, titles. This is very common. Possible titles for the paragraph. What do you think you could do if you had to figure out what the title of a paragraph was? How would you figure out a title of a paragraph? What do you think, Anastasia?
Well, read the paragraph and what about. Usually in the first line, it should be the main point what it's talking about.
Okay.
In this paragraph.
Exactly. You may not even have to read the entire paragraph. Maybe you could read just the first sentence and you know what that paragraph is about. It's time. You're fighting the clock all through this reading test. Well, any English reading test, you're fighting against time. Very good. Good answer. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
maybe not. You know, the topic sentence, sometimes there's some kind of bridging sentence, then the topic sentence. So you might have to read further. But if you don't, good, you've just saved yourself a few seconds. Throughout the entire IELTS reading test, you're always going to be concerned with saving yourself 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there, 20 seconds there. It's all going to add up. Because, believe me, when you're getting to the end of the test and you have 20 minutes left, but you haven't finished half of the questions yet, you start to panic. Okay. All right. Matching paragraphs. All right. Here's an example of what I just talked about. Let me screen share what that looks like. A tricky thing they do. All right. Headings. Okay. Or a title. All right. I just talked about this with Anastasia. Reading passage 2 has 7 paragraphs, A to G. You would actually see the paragraphs would have letters next to them, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Choose the most suitable heading for each paragraph. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Wait a minute, there's too many headings. They've thrown in a couple of headings here that you're not going to use. All right? In your answer, please, again, always read the instructions. So way up here, write the correct number, I to 1 to 11 in Roman numerals. So your answer on your answer sheet has to be Roman numerals for questions 14 through 20. Do not write regular numbers, Arabic numbers. Do not, do not, do not. Again, you are going to use POE, process of elimination. You are going to see that maybe paragraph B, wow, both answers 7 and 8 could be right. So this is where you're going to be writing on your worksheet. On your worksheet, you're going to write 7 and 8. Write them in Roman numerals so you don't forget. Okay, so you maybe you have to go on and look at questions 15, 16, 17. Oh, question 16 absolutely has to be number 8. I can eliminate it. Now I know the first one has to be 7. So what you're going to do these as a block, in other words. And you're going to use process of elimination. 1 or 2 of them will be really, really easy. They also do this in IELTS. They give you an example. They will say, for example, paragraph A is this heading, is heading 9. Immediately take your pencil and cross off 9. 9 is no longer an option because you can only use them once. As you use your options, cross them off. You know that if only one answer makes sense, cross it off. So you're not looking at everything. You're eliminating how much time you have to take for each answer as well. Okay? Remember, you can write all over your worksheet. Doesn't matter what you do to your worksheet. It's just going to get shredded. So you have to do these as a block. All right? Because they're mix and match. All right. Now, my favorite, no, not really. I hate these, and you will learn to hate them too. The next type of question, true, false, not given. Oh, golly. Now, the technique here. All right, okay, first, do the following statements agree with the information given in the passage. Next to 10 to 13, write true, false, not given. Now, when they say write true, false, not given, that means they want you to write true, exactly the way they have put it in the instructions. Do not just write a T. Do not write true in lowercase levels. Okay? Do not do that because those will be wrong. Again, follow the instructions. All right, true, false, not given. Here's where you have to use another very important key reading strategy. Actually, it's debatable whether it's good to know about the topic or not. Sometimes it's bad to know about the topic because they will give you false answers. They may give you answers which you know in your brain are true, but in fact it's not actually in the reading, which means it's not true. It's not given. It has to actually physically be in the reading. Otherwise, it's not given. Even if you're 100% sure the statement is true. You know, the statement, blonde girls have more fun. Anastasia knows it's true, but it's not but it's not in the reading. That would be wrong. Okay? All right. So it's absolutely
it's true.
no, it's true. It's not given.
Yeah, I know.
Teacher.
Chris.
Hello? Okay. All right. Am I in here again? Can you hear me? Am I in the Hangout? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Hello, teacher.
Oh, hello. Crazy Googling made me re-sign in my password so that I could be in the Hangout. Why? I don't know. Very strange. I had to actually re-sign my password. Why? I don't know. Very peculiar. Okay, I was talking about true, false, not given. All right. Usually the answer, if it's true, it will be pretty simple to see it in the reading passage, but it may be written differently. Okay. Instead of wolves eat meat, it may say wolves are carnivores, which means the same thing. Exactly. So usually it will use synonyms if it's true. If it's false, it may say exactly the opposite. That's very common trick in IELTs. False are usually exactly the opposite, or it could be similar. Not given. Usually it's a little tricky. You have to think about it. Is it specifically in the article or not? And really, to get a hang of this, you need to do some practice, which we're most certainly going to do. Be aware. Sometimes in IELTS it will say true, false, not given. On other times, instead, it will say yes, no, not given. So when you write your answer in the answer sheet, it has to be yes, no, or not given. Okay? Crazy. Yes, I know. They try to trip you up or trick you. They try to trick you on the instructions. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And last type, and oh my gosh, we only have 1 minute, something called classification. They will have you another multiple kind of answer. They will have you answer questions. For example, which countries do the following statements refer to? All right. AU for Australia, CA, Canada, NZ, New Zealand, UK, United Kingdom. Okay, so question 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 here. Your answers are going to be, you're going to answer with the letters C, A, and Z. So another one that you kind of do as a block.
Yeah, what's
all right.
abbreviation?
Right. Okay, so basically, dun-da-da-da. Those are the different types of questions. We will go on, we'll look at questions tomorrow and discuss strategy, more about strategies. I actually talked a lot about it today, so maybe we can get some good practice in tomorrow. And definitely Thursday and Friday, we're just going to practice, practice, practice. Students will have a lot of chance to answer questions.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm out of time, guys, so thanks a lot.
Take care, Oakley. Bye. Thanks for class.
Bye, Anastasia. Nice to meet you. Batayar. Bye-bye, guys.